Here's what happened this week in North Carolina politics. Ah! She thought that was hilarious. On Monday, before all the snow hit, thousands of people showed up all over the state to protest the actions of the Trump administration and Jefferson Griffin, who's trying to steal an election on the North Carolina Supreme Court. Those crowds weren't just in Charlotte and Raleigh either. From Sylva to Greenville to Jacksonville, people gathered to protest how Jefferson Griffin and the state Republican Party are trying to retroactively cancel their legal votes. The anger out there over this thing is real and red hot and very well deserved. North Carolina State Supreme Court race is now the only statewide election in the country that is still uncertified. This thing's headed to the state Supreme Court and probably federal court after that. We are weeks away from resolution. Meanwhile, expert staff at the State Board of Elections did an in-depth audit into the exact ballot challenges that the Griffin campaign and the state Republican Party are asserting, and they found that most of those challenges are factually invalid. What they're saying just is not true. But again, don't spend too much time trying to make logical sense of the Griffin campaign's argument, because this isn't really about the law at all. This is pure authoritarianism, trying to go around the law, and it has to be opposed on principle. Meanwhile, North Carolina is headed for a big budget deficit. Nonpartisan budget analysts from the legislature and the governor's office released a consensus budget forecast this week that warns that the state is spending too much money compared to what they take in tax revenue, and additional tax cuts that are planned to go in effect are going to dig that hole deeper. The response from Republican Senate leader Phil Berger was basically like, nah, it'll be fine. Phil Berger said that Republican leaders like him know better than the budget analysts and that they'll figure it out later, actual quote. Unrelated to all that, Phil Berger is now facing a Republican primary challenger next year. Rockingham County Sheriff Sam Page announced this week that he will challenge Berger for his state Senate seat. And here's an interesting part. Phil Berger now says that he has dropped the casino scheme and doesn't plan to bring it up again. Just like that, they're over it. The most likely reason for that is because Democrats broke the Republican supermajority in our legislature last year. So even though Democrats can't pass their own legislation, they can uphold Governor Stein's veto of bad legislation, and Stein wasn't going to go along with the casino scheme, which was wildly corrupt. Elections have consequences, even in North Carolina, for now. Drive safe out there, watch out for snowballs, and have a great weekend.